Hello guys, it's Ellen again. So today we're going to do the Citra story missions, which is the extra stage of Citra or the piercing light extra stage. So what we're going to do is these are the units we're bringing. So Illusionist Nicole. Illusionist Nicole is of course is just there for the AoE cover of our tank. So Crazy Day is just there, or we're going to give Crazy Day to Illusionist Nicole so that we could decrease the fire resistance of our unit. So of course, if you don't have a fire resistance for that or the Crazy Day, Illusionist Nicole also has a Imperil, which is he imperils all elementals resistance to one enemy. Next would be Arosa. Arosa is just there for the mana regen. And again guys, don't forget that we at least need around 60% if you're going to use Garnet as your elemental resistance buffer. But if you're going to use my other unit, you can only at least have a 40%. So with water, that is the most important part of this fight. So Rosa is just there for the magic, and then I equip him with a pod 153 to reduce our damage taken, especially for the last boss. Garnet is just there for the evocation magic and also evocation damage, and then also so that we could fill our Esper gauge more fastly enough. Any other evokers is also okay here, especially those evokers that can buff your elemental resistance as well. So Transterra is our training unit and also our killer for this fight. And of course our friend is also another Transterra, and this is the equipments that we're bringing. And then Zargabath, another 7 stars. I'm sorry guys if I'm using 2 7 stars for this fight, but as you can see, I'm just showcasing the power of Zargabat, the versatility of Zargabat. In here, as you can see, Zargabat has a 15,000 HP, a defense of 585, and a spirit of 560. At the same time, he has a 100% evade, and also sa status elements, which is the only problem here is the stone, but for this part we don't need those stones. Also a innate stop resistances, and also he can buff your team up with 100%. I think it's 100% attack, defense, magic, and spirit. And then he also gives you a resistance to paralysis, blind, confusion, disease, and stop for all allies. And then he also can boost all elemental resistances with a 60% for the prismatic barrier, and also reduces SPR reductions to all status elementals, or reductions to your team. Also has a Arcadia Smite, which is a 150% buff to your team for 1 turn or 2 turns, I can't remember, and then reduce damage taken for our allies, which is again very useful for the next fight. So that is really all of the fight, or all of the damages. So next would be our equipments or our friend, but first I will have a rundown on how the fight will be going. On the first fight, we're going to fight the IO and the researcher. The researcher, you don't need to fight, or you don't need to kill the researcher first, because when the researcher dies before the IO will deal a lot of damage to your units and most probably wipe up your team. So all you have to do is just concentrate our damage to the IO, and then whenever we filled our Esper gauge and also our one of our damaging limit burst, we can now finish the fight. Next would be Iron Eyes. Iron Eyes is a very squishy boss, and then in here take advantage of the stage where You can fill your Esper gauge or also fill your limit burst gauges so that on the next third part of the fight you are ready to take head on the architect. On the third stage, when you are very ready, just make sure that you have your Esper gauge or the limit burst of Garnet at full, because on the first turn Garnet will just use his limit burst, and then if you're lucky you will fill your Esper, and then on the second turn you can finish the fight. Or and also just make sure that, well, you are very ready for the next fight. That's why we are getting the pad 153 or any other. So let's see the equipment of our friend. Okay, a 1680 magic. So let's go. So we have to deal earth damage 2 times armor to an enemy, no items, and then we have to defeat him with a limit burst. So let's go. What we need to do is we really just need to fill our limit burst and also our Esper gauge so that we could, well, finish the fight with in a very fast phase. So Illusionist Nicole will just use Redirect to Sargabath, and then Terrifying Vision. Sargabath will just use our Arcadian Light. We are just going to dual cast the double Tundaja, or let's see. Let's just use normal attacks from our units. So Garnet will just use Charm Protection to our units, and then let's go. We are just relying for this time for Zargobat's counter, and as you can see he will counter a lot, or he didn't counter a lot. It's sad. It's okay. We're just going to use Word of Law, and then we're going to use Mystic Shot from Rosa. Garnet will just use Prayer to the Eidolons. Rosa, well, we need to heal, so we're just going to use Kiraga. Our team, Illusionist Nicole will deal the stone damage, the first stone damage, and then another. Here it is. So there's the crush, the plasma again. So Zargabat already has his limit burst up, so what we're going to do is we're just going to use full magical activation, and then another full magical activation, and then for Garnet we're just going to use Prayer to the Eidolons, and then for Zargabath we're just going to use Arcadian Light, and then Nicole will just use Redirect, and then Terrifying Visions again. We're going to use Dual White Magic this time because he will the IO again will, or they will deal another strong particle beam, as you can see. And then for Zargabat, we're just going to use Alexander Crest, but we're going to use Chaos Chain with a Chaos Wave right now. A quadruple cast. And then for Illusionist Nicole, we're just going to use the stone again, so that we are very sure we are ready to. So we're just going to use Charming Protection to our team just to be sure. And then we are going to use Kuraga to our team also. So for this, we're going to chain with Transtera, and then once we see that he only has a below 30% HP, we're going to click Zargabat. So let's go. Just like that. And click Zargabat for the damage. And there it is. The 39,000, and we killed Io and then the researcher at the same time. And so let's go to the next chapter or the next level. So we killed we got all the missions for the first stage, for the first extra stage, and then we're dealing another. So we have to deal fire damage 2 times or more, and then lightning also. We don't have to use no limit burst, and then we have to use defeat areas with a limit with an esper. So let's go again. So we're going to take advantage for this during this stage, wherein we're going to fill our limit bursts to our units. So here comes the Eye of the Killer, which is, well, he dealt stop to our friend. So we're just going to use Arcadian Light. Rosa again will just use Bless. Garnet will just use Charming Protection just to be sure. Illusionist Nicole will use Redirect and then Terrifying Visions. For our Transtera, we're just going to use to deal the fire damage, as you can see. And then next would be our lightning damage, but unfortunately we're now at 72%, and then he just used poison all. Here comes the counters. So let's just dual cast again. Now for this is the thunder. Just use just a thunder because, as you can see, we're dealing a lot of damage like we don't want to. So redirect again for Zargabath and the Terrifying Visions. Rosa will just use Bless. Garnet will use Life Harmony to our team. Zargabath will just use Word of Law, just like that. So we are going to use full magical activation again, and then another full magical activation. So we could use item for this stage, so we have to deal fire. We already done that. We are not yet using limit burst, and then we have to defeat him with an esper. So we're just going to use Arcadian Light again. For Garnet, we're just going to use Paralyzed Protection. And then for our Nicole, Redirect and the Terrifying Visions. Again, Bless to our Rosa so that we could fully. And unfortunately, we got sleeped but it's okay. So for this, we're just going to use dual white, and then Esnaga, and then just Kiraga to Aruti. Just like that. So for this, we're just going to use give elixir to our units that we are going to use, and then we're just going to get judgment bolt to Garneth, and then for this we're just going to use chaos rain, chaos wave, and then another chaos wave. Just like that. So what we are going to do is we are going to cast Garnet first, and then Transterra, and then Zargabath, and then Illusionistico, for so that we could replenish our SP lost for this fight. So Garnet, just like that. There it is. There's the damage. So let's go to the next fight. Sorry guys. So wait a minute. I'm just going to replenish one of my, or 10 energy. So we have to use no more than 3 items. We have to evoke an Esper, and then we have to defeat the Arctic Truth with a magic. For this to work, what we are going to do is, first we need to set up a defense strike for this, because most probably we are going to die. So for Transterra, we're just going to use Chaos Flare, and then we just need to use another Chaos Flare. For Zargabath, we're just going to use this. As you can see, it boosts attack with 150% for our allies, and then it also reduce magic taken from our allies. So Rosa will just use P20 shield to our team. Garnet will just summon, and unfortunately we didn't. Well, let's just use P20 shield, and then let's put them on defense for the Transterras. For Illusionist Nicole, we just have to redirect, or redirect, and then Terrifying Visions to our team, and let's hope that we could survive their attacks. Yep, we survived. So for Transterra, I'm going to use full magical activation, and then another full magical activation. For Zargabath, we are going to use Prismatic. For our Nicole, we're just going to use Crazy Day. For our Rosa, we are just going to use Kiraga. And then for Garnet, a Life Harmony is good because we need to survive the another fight from or another damage from the Arctic. Here comes the water gun, and we resisted it, and then now we can dish out a lot of damage. So I'm going to use Crazy Day. Or Imperil, and then for Rosa we're going to use Dual White Magic, and then Holy. For Garnet we're going to use Judgment Bolt, and then Chaos Rain, Chaos Flare for our both Transteras. And for the Sargabath we are going to use like that. So Imperil, and then as you can see we don't have to use any items, we have to evoke an Esper, and then we have to defeat him with the magic. So Rosa will be the one who will deal the magic damage, which is the Holy. So Sargabath will just buff up our team. We are going to use, we're now going to chain with our Transteras, so let's go. And then Garnet will came in, and then Rosa will just use the magic. As you can see, there goes the Holy, there goes the damage from the Holy, and then we evoked an Esper and we killed all of them with just using our Transteras. Again guys, if you want to borrow my Transera or my Sargabath, you can, or any of my units that we could be helpful, just comment down below on the comment section, and I would gladly add you up to my friend list. And also those guys who I already add up and then I deleted them from my friends list, I am very sorry, and because some people or any other players need to tends to of course ask for friend request and ask for help, so don't get mad at me when I deleted you on my friends lists. So let's see first again our missions. So we got all of our missions, although we're using a lot of 7 stars units. Of course we could just, well, just use any other tanks for this, but I really need to have the tank that can give me a lot of status ailments. So of course Awakened Ren is very good with this fight, but you have to have him at 7 stars so that she can be helpful to your unit. So again guys, don't forget to subscribe. It will be just on the lower right corner of your screens. And then okay guys, see you again, bye.